Hi, my name is Isabella Castro, and this is my creative critical reflection for my group's opening of the film Hacked. To begin with, I just want to say, excuse my voice, I am a little bit sick right now, I have a sore throat, so hopefully you can still understand what I'm saying and the message that I'm trying to convey. Our movie is called Hacked, and the genre is thriller slash horror, but more on the thriller side. So to begin with, I want to discuss some of the conventions that we follow and some that we don't follow. So our opening begins by showing the protagonist. So here's something that we follow. Usually in thrillers, there is a protagonist and antagonist, and they have a sort of battle between the two of them. So here is the protagonist, and then the antagonist, which the audience later discovers is the antagonist, is the girl on FaceTime right here, and they do have a battle between each other. Something that we don't follow is usually the protagonist is a brave male, and obviously she's not a brave male, she's a girl. Another thing that we don't follow is usually the antagonist is some sort of dark, creepy presence, and she is the complete opposite. She is the typical popular girl who no one would suspect is the antagonist of the film. Although the audience knows that she's antagonist, the movie is about discovering her process of discovering what's going on to her. So yeah, we don't follow the sense that the antagonist is usually a dark, creepy, mysterious figure. So something else is that we do reveal who the antagonist is during the opening. So in this scene right here, she discusses how she is getting revenge. This girl is getting revenge on her best friend for sleeping with her boyfriend through mind control. So something else that we usually follow from thrillers is that there's usually close-ups. So here, when she's listening to, when she puts in their headphones, it gets to a close-up of her face, and when she gets zapped, you can see that something's clearly not wrong. Something clearly is wrong with her through the close-up. They're able to see, the audience is able to see her emotions. Also, we do include ambient sound, which thrillers usually have also. So when she puts her headphones in, the audience hears some sort of creepy, eerie music, which by that music they can tell that something bad is going on here and creepy, and something's wrong. Something's gonna go wrong. Another important close-up is when she goes into her bathroom, and you can see that her eye color has completely changed. So right here, that's not her natural eye color. No one's natural eye color is like that, or at least no one that I've met. So they can clearly see that something is going on in her head and something has gotten inside of her. Also, there's a lot of jump cuts in thrillers. So here we have jump cuts too, like that. And thrillers have like dark lighting. So and horrors have dark lighting. Thriller and horrors have dark lighting. So here we had the light, we put an effect. It wasn't the actual setting that was dark, but because we didn't really have too well of control of the lights where we were filming and where we had access to film. So yeah, the lights were we added the dark effect with an effect on iMovie. Also, we tried to make the storyline relatable to something that to our target audience, which is 15 to 25, would experience. That way they can feel like this could totally happen to them and therefore make them more scared. Speaking of target audience, we do represent our target audience in our movie, which is teenagers to people in their early 20s to mid 20s. We represent teenagers in the way that usually they are over dramatic, they are usually represented like that in media and different media. So we follow that. We follow in the sense that they are over dramatic. They are represented as over dramatic. Also, we follow something that we don't follow. I'm sorry, is usually hackers are represented as people who are nerdy and wear glasses, and they're usually males also. But in our film, she is the hardcore hacker, and that's essentially an essential part of the film, because no one would suspect that she could come up with something like such a she couldn't be such the audience would never think that she was the mastermind, or the people in the movie wouldn't think that she is the whole mastermind behind everything, because she does not look like the typical hacker that would figure out a way to hack into someone's brain. So obviously the audience knows that it is her, but the whole movie is like finding out her and the rest of the people in the film trying to understand what's going on, because she goes on a serial killing spree. So yeah. Another thing we would like to discuss is how another thing I would like to discuss is how our production engages with the audience. So from the beginning to the end of our opening, the audience is trying to understand. First, the beginning is trying to understand what is going on with her. What is that zap that just happened here? The zap. So what's going on? What's happening with her brain? Why did her eye color change? And then at the end, they're trying to understand. It's engaging the audience by them understanding, by telling them that, oh, it is her who's controlling her, and what else is she gonna do with controlling, like with the power that she now has, and will she expand it to other people? What is she gonna do with what she discovered how to do? Another thing I want to discuss is how we're going to distribute. So this is a full film, and I would like to distribute it in places like Netflix and iTunes, because today our target audience is more online based. So we would like to distribute it in places online like Netflix and iTunes, where they can download. iTunes download, and Netflix is growing. The popularity of Netflix is growing immensely with our target audience. So we would like to put it in places like that where they can have easy access to it. Also, to discuss how my production skills have developed. Throughout the whole project, I learned so many things. I learned how difficult it was to create the perfect shot. So when we were trying to film this part where she's frantically trying to wash her face and understand what's going on with her, we had to take that shot like 800 times, because it was so difficult for her to get the correct timing, the correct acting. And so I learned that directing is very hard, and I learned that you have to know how to clearly express your ideas for the shot to be able to fully get the shot that you want. Also, I learned a lot about iMovie and how to use it to edit the film, because at first I had used iMovie before, but never to the extent of adding like effects to the shots and the sound elements that we use from iMovie, like the background noise. They're all from iMovie, so I discovered how to do that. Also, the whole creation of a film to me now is a lot more, I see it as a lot more complex than I did before. I understand that there are so many aspects that go into creating a film than I did before. I just thought it was simple. I never thought that each shot could be represented in a way that the audience understands something from it. And through this whole process, I learned that every part of your movie can be used to express your story. Every shot, every angle, the way that your characters dress, everything can be used to represent your movie. Lastly, I want to talk about the technology we use. So I already discussed iMovie. That's everything we use for editing. It was super simple to understand and to use. We also used for the end, so this part right here, it is a screencast. We used the software Screenomatic, which was amazing. It helped us do this part of the film, which is essential. We also use the internet as a big part. We use the internet to research all of the conventions of thriller films and decide on what we should do for our movie. And lastly, we used Eclipse to show the editing, the hacking part. So this right here is Eclipse. which is a Java, where you can code in Java, which is what I knew how to code in and what we did. And also we use FaceTime. Lastly, we use FaceTime to show the communication between the two girls in the beginning. So thank you very much for sitting through my creative critical reflection, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thank you.